The Zoom link flickers on. 4 faces, 1 unfinished story. Kody Brown, desperate to make peace. 2 ex-wives done playing along. And 1 property, Coyote Pass, where promises turn to silence. But when that Zoom call ended, someone walked away for good. This isn't just about land. It's about betrayal, control, and the moment the sister wives finally said, "No more." What you're about to see isn't a sale. It's the Brown family's reckoning.
Honesty and depth and
Part 1. Let's rewind. For more than a decade, the family of Kody Brown lived under one roof of ambition. A shared land in Arizona, known as Coyote Pass, intended to house him and his, at one time, 4 wives and 18 children. But cracks appeared. His relationships with Meri Brown, Janelle Brown, and Christine Brown dissolved, leaving only his legal marriage to Robyn Brown. The land, which once was a symbol of unity and expansion, turned into a metaphor for survival, division, and legacy. In the trailer for Season 20, viewers see the family gathered on that land, and the tone could not be more different. We open with a Zoom call. Kody reaches out to Meri and Janelle, the 2 ex-wives, attempting reconciliation, or so he claims. The sale of the land has been delayed. Emotions are raw, and the question lingers: can they ever move forward? Zoom calls are meant for connection, but this call feels like a minefield. On one side, Kody seeking healing. On the other side, wives who feel unheard, betrayed, and dismissed. The subject? The delayed sale of Coyote Pass. He says, "We're going to close on Coyote Pass soon." But Robyn reacts, "This is bull's tea. I am not selling this land until everything is perfectly fair, and we do this the right way." Janelle declares, "It's a standoff at Coyote Pass. Final showdown." Meri fires back with a Taylor Swift-esque line, "We are never, ever, ever getting back together." And all of this happens while Kody tries to bridge the divide. "I would love healing with Meri. I would love healing with Janelle." The question deepens: is this about the land or about the acknowledgement of years of hurt? The camera holds on faces that don't soften, words that don't land, silence that says more than a monologue. In the next minutes, a confession, a revelation, and everything changes. Let's zoom into the emotional terrain. Meri has stepped cautiously into the dating world. In the trailer, she says, "I've never done speed dating before." Janelle is navigating her own spiritual divorce from Kody after years of separation, but not true closure. Christine is watching others move closer, her children relocating near Janelle. Growing distance becomes physical. For Robyn, the struggle is different: to hold on to the marriage, to hold on to a family legacy while bearing the weight of what's fallen apart. We return to the Zoom call. The question is not just about a sale. It is, who holds the narrative? Who gets to define fairness, closure, and future? And beneath it all, the fear of being invisible, unheard, or left behind. Here we are. The sun is setting at Coyote Pass. The cameras roll. The tension reaches its apex. There's Kody, there's Robyn, Meri, Janelle, standing in a circle on the land, eyes locked, hearts raw. And then the twist. While all the talk has been about the sale of land, what nobody expected is this: Kody doesn't just ask for closure. He asks for something more. In the trailer, he says, "Listen, I have this wife. Her name is Robyn, and she would never let me do anything naughty, as bad as I want to do it." Then he tells Robyn, "I got another one of those emails from a woman asking to join the family." So the land's not the biggest issue after all. It's the possibility of another wife entering the fold. While the ex-wives fight for fairness, the patriarch is fixated on the new. That's the pivot. The moment when the story shifts from "he owes us closure" to "we're still in the business of adding more wives." Robyn's face says it all: confusion, hurt, defense. Meri and Janelle exchange glances, betrayal. The land becomes secondary. The real battle, acknowledgement of past wrongs and an uncertain future. How fans reacted, and how the wives responded off camera. After the trailer dropped, social media exploded. Fans were furious. On Reddit, one viewer wrote, "Just watched the trailer and it actually looked pretty juicy. The OG3 are glowing. Robyn looks a bit rough," and others criticized the show for dragging old wounds into yet another season. Again with the land? Again with the possibility of new wives? Meanwhile, in real life, Meri took to interviews hinting she felt used for the plot. Janelle publicly reaffirmed she would never go back to Kody. In the trailer, she said, "He wants to see me. I really want to tell him that we'll never be friends." The wives' responses: Meri, firm, distant, no reconciliation. Janelle, freeing herself, moving on. Robyn, torn between supporting Kody and protecting herself. For the female viewers at home, the narrative cuts deep. Loyalty, fairness, self-respect. Questions emerge. When does family become control? When does legacy become exploitation? What all this means for the Brown women, for the culture of polygamy, and for you watching. As the credits roll on season 20 of this reality saga, what remains? Coyote Pass will likely sell, a resolution of land. But the emotional terrain? That's messier, less tidy. Kody may attempt apologies. The wives may seek freedom. But the twist reminds us, the struggle isn't just with each other. It's with the system, the expectations, the version of life they were handed. For you watching, especially you, navigating relationships, contractual or otherwise, conscious of boundaries and emotional equity, there is a lesson here. You deserve clarity. You deserve fairness. You deserve acknowledgement. If you've been carrying unfinished business, emotional land you haven't sold, reach out. Write the letter, make the call, set the boundary. Part 2. Back in 2018, the plan was grand, a sprawling Arizona compound on Coyote Pass, where one man and 4 wives would live, grow, expand. The patriarch, Kody Brown. The wives, Meri Brown, Janelle Brown, Christine Brown, and Robyn Brown. They bought roughly 14 acres with big dreams. Home builds, community living, shared life. But over time, the plural marriage fractured. Christine left in 2021. Janelle followed suit in 2022. Meri eventually separated in 2023. But the land remained, still owned together, still tied to the idea of family unity that no longer existed. The sale of Coyote Pass thus became more than a real estate transaction. It became a statement, a final chapter, or the start of one. Why did it take so long to sell? And why did everyone look so tense in the trailer for season 20? The delays set the stage. While the property sat idle, relationships sat in limbo. On the show, the land became a symbol of who held power and who didn't. One of the wives, Janelle, admitted, "Nobody really wanted to live out there. It was Kody's dream and not ours." Meanwhile, Meri voiced concerns over finances, division of proceeds, and trust. The sale wasn't just about dollars. It was about fairness, legacy, and whether she was ever seen. The big trigger. When the land finally listed, rumors swirled that Kody and Robyn might end up with more, that the ex-wives might be shortchanged. On Reddit, a fan wrote, "I'm behind on the news, but just read that Coyote Pass sold for $1.5 million. each walking away with $375,000 for an even four-way split. But the public numbers tell one story, the private dynamics tell another. In April 2025, the land sold for $1.5 million. The core four people, Kody, Robyn, Meri, and Janelle, each allegedly received equal shares. Yet the tension remained raw, because money can buy land, but not forgiveness. Now, the moment of truth, when the final deal closed and the real surprise hit. This isn't about acreage, it's about acknowledgement. Meri, once supportive, hopeful, felt she'd been led on. He led me to believe when we moved to Flagstaff, this would be a new beginning. Janelle, strong, protective mother, revealed she prioritized her children above all. I'm going to always choose my kids. Robyn, now the sole legal wife, faced the unexpected legacy of a marriage built in plural, now shifting to monogamy amid chaos. Kody admitted the vision had crumbled. I'd almost rather scrap it or sell it and then just start again somewhere else. But the land held ghosts of what could have been. The compound never built, the reunions never healed. And so each person carried something else. Meri, a sense of being invisible. Janelle, a need for justice. Robyn, a fear of being the one left behind. Kody, a man confronted with the collapse of his creation. What happens when the dream ends? When the sale papers are signed, but the relationship remains unsettled? Here's the twist you didn't see coming. The sale of Coyote Pass finally closed, but not just as a simple exit. It revealed who walked away and who stayed behind. While the public story was equal split, the hidden truth was this. Some believed the system was rigged. On April 28, 2025, Kody addressed accusations that he was purposely shortchanging his ex-wives, calling them all in Janelle's head. What if the deal was fair on paper, but unfair at its core? What if the emotional debt outweighed the financial payout? Janelle declared she would forever be unshackled. A nice parting gift for all of us, she said. See you later. Hope I never see you again. Goodbye. Meri, half smiling. Well, if we're not getting alimony, I guess this parting gift works. Robyn watched from the sidelines, caught between support and isolation. The land sold, the money paid, but what was revealed was the truth of the family's fracture. The twist, the asset became a liability, not for the property, but for their hearts. And now the public is watching, waiting, judging. As the news broke, social media surged. On Reddit, a thread lit up. They just keep manufacturing these ridiculous rebuttals to their greedy, selfish behaviors. Fans accused Kody of using the sale to rewrite the narrative. One wrote, "They just bought a $2.2 million house before selling Coyote Pass. What absolute snakes." Meanwhile, mainstream outlets exposed the figures. Each of the four received approximately $375,000. Janelle and Meri used interviews to voice their mistrust. Janelle insisted she'd eventually have to lawyer up for what she'd invested emotionally and financially. Kody countered. He insisted he never tried to rip anyone off. It's all in Janelle's head. For women watching at home, the storyline resonated. Tension between fairness and power, freedom and entrapment, dreams and disillusionment. The sale may appear closed, but the conversation is far from over. In our final act, what this means for you, and what we can all learn from the Brown family's great unraveling. As the credits roll on this chapter, what remains? The land is gone. The legacy of Coyote Pass concluded. But the emotional ledger, open, unresolved. Each member of the family walks into a new era, some free, some wary, some still watching the others. For you, viewers, especially women navigating layered relationships, be it professional, personal, or family, the story holds this truth. Assets don't guarantee resolution. Communication, respect, and recognition do. You may not be selling a 14-acre plot in Arizona, but you might be trying to close a chapter, heal a wound, or reclaim your stake. If you're carrying an emotional stake that's unresolved, be brave. Write the message, set the boundary, claim your share of the peace. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. We rewind to 2018. The plan was simple, or so it seemed. Kody and his then-wives bought the land in Arizona with a vision of a sprawling family compound. Slow-motion timeline. 2018 purchase of 14 acres. Dream of multiple homes, co-living, shared futures. But as the years moved on, first wife Christine left in 2021. Janelle separated in late 2022. Meri followed in early 2023. Through it all, the land remained, undeveloped, unfinished, a constant reminder of what might have been. In the trailer for Season 20, we see Kody saying, "We're gonna close on Coyote Pass soon." But Robyn counters, "I am not selling this land until everything's perfectly fair." Suspense mounts. Will this sale bring closure or open new wounds? By the time the sale drops, the emotional price might be higher than the dollar amount. As the property sat idle, relationships sat in limbo. The wives each carried weight, investment in time, in children, in silence. Janelle admitted, "Nobody really wanted to live out there." Meri revealed she felt kept in the dark. "I feel like I've just sat back, but I will push the issue now." Meanwhile, Kody acknowledged financial strain and said he'd almost rather scrap it or sell it, and then just start again somewhere else. Slow motion. The Zoom call unfolds. The camera lingers on expressions, the slight tremble of Meri's voice, the harsh set of Janelle's jaw, Kody's attempt to bridge, but wearing thin. Legal background. In plural marriage arrangements, which are not legally recognized in the U.S. for multiple spouses, asset division can be messy, especially when relationships dissolve and shared investments exist. The sale of Coyote Pass for approximately $1.5 million in April 2025 was publicly documented. But distrust remained. Janelle consulted a lawyer because she did not trust Kody to divide the proceeds fairly. What they agreed to on paper may not be what they all felt in their hearts. Meri, the first of the original wives, who for decades kept the peace, now finding her voice and asking, "Am I seen?" Janelle, the warrior mother, who always picks my kids and who will not go back. Robyn, the legal wife, still in the marriage, still carrying the burden of what the plural marriage cost. Her voice cracks as she says, "It's been tough. This is probably the worst we've ever done." Kody, the architect whose dream turned into a monument of regret. He says he feels excommunicated from parts of his family. The property becomes a metaphor for each of their stories. The dream, the breakdown, the sale. Scene, land walking footage. Quiet, sun low, the family stepping through empty parcels that never became homes. And now the sale looms. The question, who gets more than a check? Who receives acknowledgement? Because when you walk away from something you built together, what's the cost when the money shows up? It's April 2025. The sale is final. $1.5 million for Coyote Pass. But here's the twist. The sale isn't just the end of one chapter. It reveals who really walked away free and who is still tethered to the past. Though on record the proceeds were slated to be split equally, Janelle and Meri publicly voiced doubts. Kody insisted he wasn't trying to rip them off. He said, "It's all in Janelle's head." The real surprise? While the property transaction is now behind them, the emotional and legal entanglements are far from over. For Janelle, the money is a nice parting gift, but she also said, "If I had been legally married to Kody, you sure as hell bet I would have taken half of his assets." For Meri, "If we're not going to get alimony, I guess this parting gift works." And for Robyn, she's left to ask, "Am I the one left behind?" Suddenly, the sale is no longer about the land. It's about power, fairness, healing. The twist? The asset became a liability in their relationships. The deal closed. But what genuinely closed? What remained open? The reaction was swift. On Reddit, fans argued over who got what. They bought for $820, sold for $1.5 divided by 4. That's only $170 for each adult. Meanwhile, the emotional cost is priceless. On social media, women wrote comments tagged under clips. "I'm just glad Janelle and Meri finally got something they fought for." Kody still benefits, the others rebuild. The broader implications. Media observers say the Brown family arc mirrors wider American issues, dreams built on shared models, where the dissolution reveals deeper fractures. For you watching, this isn't just reality TV. It's real-life lessons. When you invest your time, your dreams, yourself into something shared, make sure the exit terms are clear. When communication fails, even the most solid foundation can crumble. And when money appears, sometimes it cannot buy the closure you crave. Call to action. If this resonates with you, about boundaries, about fair value, about acknowledgement, drop a comment below with "I'm reclaiming my share," and hit like if you believe emotional equity matters. Subscribe for more deep dives into real stories with real women in them. Next, what happens when the cameras stop and real lives continue? As the cameras fade on the final moments of Season 20, the land is sold, the deal done, but the story doesn't end. Meri steps out of the shadow. Janelle forges ahead. Robyn stands in the afterimage of a dream she never asked for. Kody stands in the emptiness of what he imagined. For U.S. women viewers, this story holds up a mirror. Whether it's relationships, careers, or partnerships, you deserve clarity. You deserve fairness. You deserve acknowledgement. The land sold for $1.5 million, yes. But the real payout? The opportunity to walk away with your dignity intact. As the news of the sale and that shocking trailer spread, fans poured their hearts online. One woman wrote on Facebook, "I used to think Meri was too quiet. Now I see she was surviving." A Reddit user added, "Watching Janelle walk away was like watching every woman who finally says, 'Enough.'" On TikTok, a viewer cried, "We watched a marriage dissolve in real time. It's heartbreaking, yet freeing." It wasn't just their story anymore. It became every woman's story of reclaiming voice and worth. And while fans debated who deserved what, a bigger question lingered. Did anyone truly win? Let's pause. What does $1.5 million actually look like on paper? Original purchase price, $820 K, 2018. Parcels, 4 lots, roughly 14 acres. Sale price, $1.5 million, 2025. Estimated net after fees, taxes, $1.3 million. Equal share, if divided 4 ways, $325K each. But not every dollar erases a decade of resentment. Some fans even noticed. He gains financial closure. They gain emotional independence. On paper, it's even. In reality, the scales still tilt. So when Kody said, "It's all in Janelle's head," was it accounting or gaslighting? Years from now, the land will belong to strangers. But for the Browns, Coyote Pass will always be sacred ground, where their empire began and ended. Maybe Coyote Pass was never about homes. It was about letting go of what couldn't be rebuilt. If you've ever walked away from something you once called home, comment, "I found my peace." Because like Meri and Janelle, maybe the hardest sale is the one inside your heart. Family systems therapist Dr. Elaine Hawthorne explains why property disputes cut so deep. Dr. Hawthorne: in plural or large family systems, shared assets represent shared identity. When one piece is sold, it forces every member to redefine who they are outside that system. And that's the unspoken truth of the Brown family saga. The sale wasn't the end. It was the start of individual freedom. Freedom always has a price. Sometimes it's just listed in escrow. What will you not walk away from anymore? Share this video with a friend who's been stuck in her own Coyote Pass moment. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss upcoming episodes where we'll unpack behind-the-scenes commentary, legal takeaways, and deep critiques for women navigating legacy, separation, and rebirth. Thank you for watching. Until next time.